Hey, welcome back to the Metroball Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is currently April the 19th, and we are playing some Most Wanted List 1.2 in the casual lobby, Jinteki.net. We probably want more ice, but having our single Caprice in hand is actually pretty good. I think we're still going to mulligan this, though. It's easier. It's something. Good luck, have fun, thanks you too. So this is my first attempt at a Most Wanted List 1.2 deck, and it's basically an ETF deck, but with a lot more of these things. It's running Highland Grid, it's running defensive upgrades. We kind of want to rush in behind an Eli, and Eli is actually not so great in a remote server. So maybe we can actually afford to draw once, install Hedge Fund. That's probably okay. Like, it's not a great ice, and you want two pieces of ice because you don't want to res a single piece of ice in this game. And I think we can actually want to ice both of our centrals here, just because if we res, we get value, and if we put one down, we're not going to res it, and this actually threatens a res, and these are pretty good ice for central servers. Admittedly, we're playing against Null, and Null's pretty good at breaking ice and dealing with ice, and we're running a lot of ice, so this is probably a good matchup, and maybe the Most Wanted List is a good place for Null. Maybe. Maybe it is. Councilman, super good. We're going to have to respect that. So we're going to get no surprises with our Highline Grid. Councilman's actually particularly bad against Adonis campaign because you can res it twice in a row and get a lot of money on it. But I still think we just kind of need to draw up. If we draw into nothing right now, I think we'll just put the Highline on R&D. Maybe. That's something. That's kind of cool, right? If they trash this, we can trace and we can destroy their things. This is a card I put on the deck just so we can deal with Councilman and Paul up, because I think that's actually going to be pretty prevalent. I don't mind if they trash this stuff. I really don't mind. If we want to res it, we're going to have to space 6 credits on it because of Councilman, but they'll have to use their Councilman. And Councilman's looking really good nowadays. Like, I think this card got really sweet. But I didn't talk about its deck. This is Architects of Tomorrow. And after the first time the runner passes a resed bioroid, we get to res another one. So basically, if they run one Eli, we pay 3 credits for 2 Elis. And they might actually start running soon enough since they're MK Ultra and their paperclips in the bin. And we're not running the thing that deals with this. We're not running Arc Lockdown. I'm not a big fan of that card. So that's really good. That's a card in a new remote that we really want them to hit because it's a punishing face check. And it'll get us an Eli up for free. Once we get as a free Eli, I imagine that they'll run a different server. Just because they can. That's what you have to do against Architects Tomorrow. It's like, it's really interesting. If they run this, we res the Eli on R&D, and then they'll run HQ, and they'll assume we can't res it, which is actually pretty true. But they're only drawing up, so I don't know. And we really need money in this deck. Like, we're super lacking on money. Oh, man. That's interesting. So we're going to res this, and we'll see if they Councilman it. And if they do, we'll re-res it. And we just got our money. So that's really good. And we got another piece of ice, which is awesome. I think it's most important that we actually protect this. We could consider bioticking out Accelerated Beta Test, but that actually costs 7 credits. We kind of want them to trash this thing. So I think it's fine if we put this on server 1, because again, if they click through this, they'll probably just solid paperclip and trash. It's harder for them to deal with that, and I think that's really good. A lot of this deck actually is an inevitability, and a lot of Architects of Tomorrow seems to be clicking for credits, which isn't terrible, but you know, you don't have that much money, especially like this. Like, I think maybe we need to play subliminal messaging because runners are not running against Architects Tomorrow because they're really scared of giving value. They want to basically do a lot of running on a single turn. And Mad Dashing HQ. All right, so we res an Eli. They can either pay 7 to get through this. They have actually pretty big chance at Mad Dashing, and if it fails, they get a Clan Vengeance token, which is kind of cute. Let's see if this is automated Architects of Tomorrow. So pay 3 to increase 3 barrier subroutines. So the question is, what do we res here? We can either res Eli for free, or this Eli for free, or in theory Fairchild for cheap, but I don't think we want to do that. I think we'll do this one because they're more than likely to run the server, and if they do, we might get them with the beta test. I think that's okay. Let's see if they get it for 3. And they got a Biotic Labor, so they just did themselves 1 damage. They trashed out another Mad Dash, which is pretty unfortunate for them because that seems to be their game plan. And we kind of want just our defensive upgrade here. We probably need to ice up Archives at some point now. It's actually probably reasonable. We're just kind of short on money, but we could even just put the Ichi on this server and kind of go for it. I think this is okay. If we pre-res this, it's not that good right now because they can always break Eli for 3. AOT is back, baby. It might just be. But we just basically want to find an Ash, pre-res it. If they Councilman it, we'll re-res it, and I think we can probably score behind a Fairchild. It's going to be hard for them to deal with the server, right? It's like the whole turn in 3 credits anyways. And here we go, Titanium Ribs. This is going to start the beginning of some self-damage nonsense. They trashed I've Had Worse, which is really good, and Paperclip. Uh, so they just drew 3 cards, and they're gonna eventually trash this, and we're gonna have to trash at random cards from hand. So as long as we have this Friends in High Places or another card, we're in an okay spot. That really encourages us to rush. So I think, I don't know, I think we just want to kind of set up as much as possible. Even like bioticking this out after we get this on archives is probably not too bad. I don't know if we have to do that, but at least we need more money because we're not getting value from this ID. It's basically saying they're not running, so I think we need to push things on a server. Even if they have to run through this multiple times and we put like multiple face down stuff, that's going to be pretty good. Another clan vengeance, right? They're not unique. They could also mad dash the server. They could also, in theory, hit Fairchild, and then we just don't brain damage them. That's probably okay. Well, let's see. Hacktivist meeting turns on. That's really good. That actually makes me want to, in theory, biotic this out. But I think if we put 2 Fairchilds on the server, this beta test probably goes through. Because, like, what? If they want to break one of these... Oh, they don't even have their break. Oh, no, they have the breaker. So they pull this back for 3. And then they had to boost 2, 4. It's just way too much money, right? 3. Oh, maybe not. Thinking. Right? Because they have to install this. That's 3 credits. To install this thing. And then 2 doesn't do anything. Another 2 breaks 2. And then it's 4. So no, that's 9. 10, 11, 12. And this is another 9. So no, they can't really deal with it. Unless they... No, they could maybe, right? They spay 12, 13, 14, 15. No, they're just short. So I think we can actually push this. So let's put this on server 1. Let's put this in server 1. We could even advance it. It's unlikely that they have a mad dash, and I think we have enough money for all of this. And if we advance it, we have a turn to recover. If we do fire it, we can recover with Friends in High Places. That sounds pretty cool, because if we mill an agenda, mill a defensive upgrade, we actually have pretty good efficiency. Cool thing we'd also have to respect is that this is an instant action, which does make it kind of cool. So if we like played biotic before installing our agenda, we could be in a bad spot. So they're running this. Let's see if they click through. If they could, it might be a problem. And I don't think we free res this just because we want them to go in on the server as much as they can. I think we'll free res the Eli. So this server, and this one's actually going to fire, which is going to be pretty meaningful if they go all the way through. So let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, null. Shit, right, null. Oh fuck. Does that change anything? Choose a bioroid to res. Alright, free Eli. So we've got 6 credits of value here. And if they click through this, we're still kind of good. I guess they could just tear up their cards and get this agenda, but that's honestly not too bad. So click. Alright, so with 4 credits, they can't get through this. Right? They use Null's ability. Totally forgot about Null. This is going to put us on low credit totals. But this is actually quite mean, right? Because they need at least 6 credits to break 2 of the subroutines, and they don't have it. So all of them are going to fire. So they can pay 3, trash a single card, and then we get to end the run. We're not going to do a brain damage because that mills 2 more cards in my hand, which is not great. But this is looking like an okay server. Like, this is a really hard server to deal with. And even if we let them get through, like we didn't res it, that's an easy way to get our Hellion beta test off. Which is cool if they trash something in here. So we fire all subroutines. So force a runner. Let's see what they do here. They could in theory trash these. This in theory is the same as trashing 3 credits, except you actually have money in your bank. Which is good. Did we click on it? So we click on it again. So they spent 3 credits. I think they trashed it. Oh, they actually trashed the councilman. That's really good for us. And now we're going to do a brain damage to end the run. We're going to end the run, obviously. We want this agenda. We don't want these to fire. I think you should probably just trash this instead of paying 3 credits. Because you at least have those 3 credits to do things. Oh, that's pretty good. So let's fire this. Advance. Advance. Score. We can fire it. It's actually not likely to be that good. Oh. Oh, Fairchild won. Yeah, that's okay. So we'll put this on R&D, I guess. Yeah, whatever. And now they can ask if they want to do anything. Oh, Friends in High Places 2 to play. Not a very smart boy. Oops. So let's see if they get in here, and they probably can considering we have no money. We can't really res anything. So you actually might have wanted to put this on archives. But that would be too obvious. Okay, so we just lost 2 points. That's not the end of the world. They'll probably just pop this and run 8 archives, which is actually really bad. I totally forgot Friends that cost 2. We kind of goofed that. That's okay. They're going for it, no res. I think they should pop this now and not be greedy with it. Like, they're spending a click running this anyways. They might as well pop this. And there you go. We lost 4 points. Not great. A bit greedy, but let's see if this pays off. Okay, they put another one of those down. That's fine. That's actually pretty okay. So we kind of need to draw to score here. We could put this in and mill a random card, which is not too bad. I think we can afford to draw once. Oh, that's really good. So we definitely want that into server 1 because that's an easy way to score. They don't seem to have a lot of hate besides Hacktivist. And once we get an agenda in there, we're kind of good to go. We just need enough money for Caprice and all that. And Daily Cast on table, they have no money. Like, if we draw an agenda, I think we're good to go. Actually, launch campaign, we'll probably res this. Wait a sec. What's up? Like, we could also just proactively friends in high place, like put this down, credit friends in high places. Do you mind if I use career fair now? Nah, go for it. They had a career fair in the hand. They can just throw that out. Cool. So I think we want to put this in the server. No problem. And then we can click for a credit. And then we can friends in high places for what we want. We want the Jackson and we want the Adonis just in a random blank server. They might not trash it. If they play Temujin, we'll be boned. But I think that's a risk we take because as soon as we launch this this launch campaign, we can trash a card from hand. I hope we keep the Helion beta test because it actually seems pretty reasonable right now. If we trash this and we trash the Daily Cast, we're in a pretty good spot. So let's get this back. So we'll get a Jackson on the table. This and a new remote. And then, wow, let's res this. Nice. Okay. And again, if we res the Jackson, we have to mill a card, which isn't great. It isn't fantastic, but I don't think they'll run it. Oh, we didn't even have to res this. Why did we click this? That was a mistake. We didn't have to res this. So they just res the Councilman. So we have to double res Jackson Howard. Councilman with Hacktivist is pretty good. The question is, do we res this now? Because we think we'll need it? I don't think we do. Oh, that's really good. This is going to be really hard to res. We actually are running a current. So I think we can do quick, put this in the server 1. This card's good. Yeah, we could have put Adonis in here, but I think we hopefully draw an agenda in the next 2 cards and get that in there. That's good to go. We could also consider resing this Adonis at some point. That's Adonis. No, you can trash that. And if they don't have enough money, we can beta test, and we want to get that Councilman down. I think that's going to be pretty good for us. Oh, no. They ran the wrong server. Oops. I think they thought that was a Jackson. So they can, in theory, trash this. If we res it, we trash a card to get these 3 cards back. I don't think that's good. It's our single biotic, which isn't great, but yeah, they can have it. These cards aren't fantastic. Like, I think we want these cards. The ones in our hand, at least. And if they trashed it, like, there's a chance we can do a sizable trace here. And I don't think a lot of people respect this card. Actually, I don't think it'll go through. If we res this now, we'll probably lose it. Fairchild is a good piece of ice for 5 credits. Well, let's see. If we credit play this, we'll be on 9. We'll play this. It's 8. We're at trace 2. He doesn't have a link. Null doesn't have a link. So if we boosted by 5... So wait, if we do trace 2, we have to put in 5. So we have to pay 6 credits to trash a Councilman. And cost them 4 credits. That's honestly not ass. Like, that's not too bad. We could also consider trashing the Clan Vengeance, but I don't think that one is that big of a deal. I think trashing the Councilman's huge because it's a problem with Hacktivist meeting. So let's go for it. Credit. I just want to play this card too. This one looks fun. So trace 2. So we boost by 5. We could even like just boost by 4 or some amount and see if they boost into it. But then they get a bad pub, right? Yeah, I can't have that. So it's now 7. They don't have link, and we gotta trash 2 non-program cards. This is a really strong card, especially if people are gonna be playing political operative and Councilman. Like, it's HB's in-faction answer to those problems. And right now, Councilman is being a total piss off. Like, this is really good tech for the new most wanted list. Super good tech. So we're gonna trash the Councilman 100%. And I don't think any of these matter. We can't trash programs, and it's either trash 4 credits or trash this like weird utility card. And I'd rather get them not have 4 credits. Sweet, 2 Councilmen's down. Let's go. We trashed 2 Councilmen. And that's a Temujin on server 3 cock. So they do run Temujin. That's fine. We can ice that up with a Fairchild, which we can afford to res, and they can't really run into this anymore. So their Temujin is basically a day job. Basically a day job. We don't want to res anything because we want the money for this. So let's go. Food's good. So let's put this on server 3. Can they get through the server? They actually probably can. And if we can just res one of these, will probably be good. We also get a free res on Ash if we want. And that's pretty meaningful. They might run HQ. I don't think we're going to res anything this turn. So I think we can just click for credits this turn. It's going to be really expensive if they hit this. Oh, we can't res this if they hit this. Shit. They might not know that. Hopefully they run another server, like only HQ. And then we can't afford this. We could also consider resing this bad boy. So maybe we wanted to put global food in server 1 just so we don't lose it. Oh, that actually makes it a lot easier. It's a shame that we can't, like, if we had to, something that we could put on the server to trash, it would be really good. Trope. Okay. What do? We get a hedge fund, put this in server 1, and then we have the ability to res one card this turn. That's pretty good. The fact that they're running not rumor mill, which unlikely for them too, is kind of interesting. But like, you notice how this is a pretty crazy deck, admittedly, but this like feels like a totally different anarch, a much more destructive anarch in an interesting way than perhaps other most wanted list stuff before most wanted list. So now we can res this. In theory, if they res this, we can res a free Ash, which is not too bad. I don't want to res the Ichi. I kind of want that to be a surprise, and they face plant it into that. But resing a free Ash is pretty good. We'll have to trash this card, but I think we'll res the Adonis to trash this Adonis, because then if they res the server, maybe it's not that good. Ma, that's really good. Aaron Moran, that's arguably great. So let's get rid of this to res that. And we have friends in high places, which is pretty great. Except this current is a problem. I was hoping to draw into our current, which we didn't. So next turn, I think we double advance this bad boy. We might actually wanted to draw once there just to dilute HQ, because the 1 and 2 in HQ is looking pretty not good. And also they have Maw. Maybe drawing was bad because of Hacktivist. I don't know. This is going to be a very interesting game. And we want to turn that current off. We're running 2 currents, mind you. So we have a basically 1 in 10 chance of turning that thing off. And that would be pretty good for us. It's good that we have ice on all remotes. Just because of Temujin. We didn't get that much value out of this ID so far though, which is kind of unfortunate. It does impact how they play, which is kind of hard to measure. I think we just go for this because we have Caprice, and that's probably good enough. Like, they can't spend a lot to go on the server, and I think we can probably win faster than they can parasite this stuff and go nuts with a medium. I'm just worried about losing cards from R&D. From HQ. Alright, cool. This is good to go through. Glad we have that Donna's ticking. Now we can pre-res all our stuff. I'd actually consider resing all this stuff just before they put another rumor mill down. And if they're playing 2, they might be playing 3. So do we just pre-res everything? What other hate could they play? Yeah, I think we pre-res everything. No surprise there. We probably should have done that a while ago. I'm not going to pre-res this thing because it does actually have the chance of being okay. I don't know how much they're going to click through. I think they're going to run HQ or run R&D this turn, and they'll just what's it called? They're going to null it. And null's ability also hasn't been that relevant. But next turn, I think we install this in server 1, and we probably are good to go. Let's see if they can put a really impactful run here. They might also just want to put a lot of damage down to get a lot of counters on their counter surveillance and run archives. Oh, there we go. That's a medium. So they're going to get a couple runs in on that. And it's probably not that bad. If they click through this, I don't think they'll click through this. They'll spend 2 credits. No more action, right? Oh, yeah. They've spent credits. And they're going to null this. We can res a bioroid, which is pretty good. So we could have free resed Ash. Yeah, I think resing Ichi for 1 is probably not too bad. And in theory, we just need enough money to always res their Fairchild so they can't get the 8 free credits. Null? Yeah, they're gonna null it. No worries. That makes a lot of sense. So they're gonna see some cards here. I think the best thing we can probably do is top deck. Oh yeah, Maw fires. Crap. Maw for null. Oh yeah, right. Oh, you have to trash a card. I totally forgot about that. So Highland Grid's going to trash, and that's okay. The top card of R&D, there's a chance that we lose an agenda here, which is pretty bad because it makes their medium a lot stronger. Highland Grid, let's see if they trash it. They don't, which means Maw fires. Well, Maw already fired because they hit the top card of R&D. Oh, click Maw. You got a trigger. So they have to fire this. It's not automated. You just have to click on it, which is not too bad. We lost that. That's fine. And they're going to see how many new cards? Not many. 1 new card. I think we can just plug this in and just hold up. Like, plug this in and then friends in high places for 2 ice on R&D. Even actually probably putting the Jackson on a new server is probably the best thing we can do. Let's see if they pay. Oh, they're not. Okay, that's good. That's a window. So they could think what we're putting in here is the Adonis campaign. This server seems pretty secure. If they play a rumor mill, it's still pretty secure. So I think we can put this in server 1. We can probably click for a credit, and then we can friends in high places back some stuff. So we definitely want Jackson. We can always shuffle in. This prevents Maw from being not too bad. We can put this in server 3, and then we want another piece of ice in front of the server. I think this is probably the most taxing. If we get this, we can't really res much for free. But if they click through it, it's really bad. We could have also put a Mystery Ice on R&D, which might make them not want to run it, but this looks pretty okay. I think we did architect something here. And they basically have to win this turn, or get into server 1, which seems like a very tall order. Not only can they not beat Ash, but Caprice is a problem. And you saw the way that we played. Like, we should have pre-res these things, and I guess we never had the option, right? Because Rumor Mill was always around. But they're pretty poor here. And all servers look difficult. They can't really afford to click through Eli because they'll lose all their money, which means that this thing becomes trash 2 cards, which is cute. But they're running here, and if we res this 9, 10, 11, we can't score. Right, huh. Yeah, right. Does it matter that we give them money? I don't think it does. If we res this, they just end the run, but we also res Eli for free, so we could probably just hold on for another turn. I think we could be more aggressive and just rush this thing. Oh no, we won't res Eli for free because they don't pass it. No, that's fine. We'll get a Maw trigger here though. Like, we need to fire this card, and I guess we'll just fire it to put 3 cards in R&D. It does shuffle R&D, which is not good. Like, that's just not great. But let's just put in untrashable cards. Biotic is always good. I guess friends, just in case. But they can now click this for 4 credits. I think even with that much money, they can't really get into the server. So I'm okay with this. As long as we can res the ice on R&D, it's going to be taxing enough. If we had 1 more credit, we totally would have res this. But we're just 1 short because we need 12 to res and score. So they could try the server. I don't think it's pretty good. They could rip up most of their board, pay 3 for this, but then always the last subroutine here is going to fire. So it's 6 credits for this, 3 credits for this. You have to win Ash. You have to play the Caprice game. Like, it just, they're not going to be able to get into the server. And their Councilman deck was pretty cool. Like, that was cool tech. We're really lucky that Hellion alpha test, or it's a beta test now, right? We're on to beta. Like, that played out well for us. Running HQ also is not terrible because they get to access, basically, probably access 1 card, trash the other one in their best case scenario. But it's like, it's a pretty high chance with 2 cards in the HQ that something's good in there. So the running here, we can res this. If they click through this, we lose all their money. Yeah, I think we can afford to res this. It's fine. So if they click through it, they lose all their money. So then they can just rip up 2 cards here. But they're probably going to break anyways. But I don't think we need those 5 credits, so it doesn't really matter. And this is a 5 credit server. Choose a bioroids to res. No, thanks. Like, these 2 pieces of ice are a 5 credit server. That's nuts. That's really good for what's like 5 credits of ice. And of course, they can click through things. Even if they lose a click, like, maybe we need to put enigmas in this deck. And yeah, there's anti-synergy if you don't run bioroids. But Enigma with Highland Grid's pretty sweet. So Maw Fire, they did get the agenda there. So they could win right here. Like, they get an agenda here, run archives, that's GG. But we got lucky. Actually, maybe not that lucky. Like, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, that's what, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's only 3 agendas and 21 cards. And I think they should probably run archives here. Because it's unlikely that they can't win really on this because they didn't trash anything. And that's all their money. That's all their money. Unless they think that this is an agenda, because there is a good chance that this actually is Adonis, and I think they're R&D locking us here, which isn't too terrible. But I doubt we would have shuffled with Jackson, because that broke R&D lock at a really unfortunate time. So let's see what they get. C4 cards. This deck doesn't run Cyberdeck's Fire Suite, because Fast Advance isn't that big of an option, and we can just pull this one barely out. Alright. Good game. How much money did we get off Architects of Tomorrow? Like, what? We res this for 1. I think we res 1 of these Eli's for free. I think this was an accelerated beta test. Not that much value. Like, I'm pretty sure that this would be better. Thanks for the game. This might be better if you just play Engineering the Future and have another influence, and that's kind of the issue right now. I think we need a bit more bioroid support or cards that punish clicking through things. Admittedly, this would have looked a lot better if we played things. I think we need to play things that encourage the runner to run. Like, subliminal messaging is probably a good enough amount of value. It makes this deck kind of like Engineering the Future if they're not running. But also, these would have been huge enhanced login protocols because we could have gone a lot faster. Also, like, RZ would have been really impactful in this matchup because it's really expensive for them to break. I guess, no, it's only like, what, 3 credits? If they use Null's ability. But Null's ability also wasn't surprisingly relevant considering how much big ice we have. Anywho, that's Architects of Tomorrow. It seems to be functional. Maybe it's not optimized, but thanks so much for watching. We got games or videos coming out of this channel pretty regularly on weekday nights, and on Thursday, 8:45 Eastern, we're live streaming. That's tomorrow night. Hope you drop by. Ciao.